Hi for those who are watching. For once again, don't forget to support Parsec if you haven't already. I do a very good company. And this is the Angry and Offended Despair reviewer. Finally, they translated Dr. Stone chapter 66. It was about time. It was surprisingly late this time. And to spoil the ending, yeah, they finally got a new ally. Although it wasn't exactly how I expected it to be, I'm glad that this is the path they took. Although it's sad that they cannot return all of the music from before, because well, but maybe Senku should have just said that those that have memorized her songs can always rewrite them, but there's only one singer. Either way, the first popularity polls has surprisingly happened, and well, it's not so many cast. Of course, Senku takes the first place with 3,518 votes. Kuwako, luckily enough, takes second place on 1,725 votes, and surprisingly, Ashiguro Gen takes third place with 1,618 votes. Very close to Kuwako. It's very likely that Kuwako is going to lose her second place in the next popularity polls. Other is that Suka is actually fourth, Chrome is actually fifth, Ruri is sixth, and well, who's seventh? But Hyuga is seventh. Then Byakuga is eighth. Old Man Kazuki ninth. In 10th place, it's I presume Taiju. 11th is Kinro. 12th is actually Tsukasa. That's pretty late for a villain. 13th is Yusihara, and 14th is Kinro, and 15 is the Lady of the Death. Either way, they track down the spy that is revealed to indeed be a girl named Nicky, and she immediately reveals that she is to keep an eye on them and report if they do anything weird. But she doesn't have any plan to buddy with them, and if they plan to, so if they plan on doing talking, then she will punch him. So indeed, Nicky begins to punch him at the fourth letter, but Taiyu, being the stone wall he is, endures every single punch and says that I have something important my friend want to show you. So indeed, the record chorus plays as Ashiguro again managed to imitate the singer. That is actually very good. And the interpreter is Senku, since Nicky hasn't heard Senku's voice before. So, and of course, Tai, you do not exactly get what is going on because it's bonehead. But Yusihara immediately understands what is going on. She immediately understands that Senku intends to bluff his way through this. However, then it turns out that Nicky is actually a die-hard fan of Lillian, since apparently she listened to her music a lot of the times. Were during her time of need. So she proclaims she won't forgive anyone who uses this for their schemes. So she begins to question many different things, like how many CDs have you sold? Thanks to Senku calculating different tourings, he actually managed to calculate it about a very large sum. Then it's what is the measurements, and thanks to a photo that Senku saw, he managed to calculate that one as well. However, despite everything that they say, Nicky immediately still does see through it. So in the end, Senku decides to play the record even if they haven't begin to believe it. And as the music plays, the song of Lillian fills the record, and indeed, for the first time, Nicky falls for that one, because after all, that is Lillian's true voice. And Nicky has been so die-hard fan of Lillian that she always remembers her music. As she cries of the fact that Lillian is no longer of this world, she asks Senku if that is true, and he immediately acknowledges that it is. But through a record, he managed to revive her for a song. So she asks if it's possible to revive all her other songs, but Senku reveals that that is impossible. After all the CDs of her songs is gone. However, right now there is one single recorder that has her final song on it, and that can be played with the power of science. As Nicky still cries tears of joy, she she asks if he's blunt, but is almost falling for him. So Senku reveals that his plan is to fool other members of Tsukasa over to his side. So, but they're gonna need this record even if he kills him. So, if Nikki likes that song, then she needs to protect it because we have a common interest. With that, Nikki decides to join the this the Kingdom of Science to protect Nikki's song, and a new teammate is acquired. I'm glad this is how they do it. In the end, Nikki saw through Senku and Chrome's double crossing. However, thanks to the fact that Senku still played the song of Nikki that Byakuya had left behind, she was still very moved, because even though they tried to trick her, the song was real, and that's the last thing she thought she would hear. So in the end, this turned out to be good. However, the question is now though, how that's gonna go later on. I mean, Senku could have said that yes, it is impossible to revive the songs since the CDs. But technically the songs are not dead. If Nikki is a die-hard fan of Lillian's music, then technically she should know every single song, you know. Then again, maybe she's not musically gifted. I mean, you can always remember the lyrics, but that doesn't mean you will remember the song, right? And again, the songs of Lillian was beautiful because Lillian was the one who sang them. So I mean, Senku could have said that the songs can be revived, but Lillian cannot. So one wonders how it will go. Either way, one step victory more for the Kingdom of Science, and I like they took this road. So this was a pleasant chapter. So introduced to Lillian. I don't really know Nikki. I don't really know what kind of girl she is. She looks kind of manly with those lips, but she definitely has some assets, and she has pretty muscular arms. So I mean, it makes sense that Tsukasa will revive muscular people, but who is she really? I mean, what kind of people has Tsukasa revived? This one turns out to be a fan of Lillian, so I mean, she must have been some kind of sport people. Maybe Tsukasa believed that by reviving sport people, they wouldn't be so easily overturned. But you give me a false if you have any.